So how can schools define motivation? The modern education systems, they're operating on a very simplistic assumption, like student capable produced work consistently, right? Not student not producing work consistently, must not care. And that dichotomy really creates an incredibly harmful narrative around motivation. I don't even believe in motivation, and maybe that's a bit simplistic, but like, so for instance, my husband would be like, "I'm not going to the gym. I'm not motivated." And it's like, oh, like, are you just gonna wait till you feel this thing called motivation to do things? No, like, of course not. What motivation is then is a friend that doesn't come around often. We can't just call on this friend. We can't call on motivation. It either shows up or it doesn't. It shows up sometimes and we feel motivated, and it doesn't show up and we don't feel motivated. We still need to do the work. We're in schools and we're talking to people. It's like, oh, that student's not motivated. But does anybody even like define what motivation is? Like, let me know how you feel about it in the comments or in the emails. That'll be a really interesting one, I think. It's we tend to interpret visible productivity as evidence of character. The organized student is responsible. The compliant student is hardworking, whereas the struggling student is lazy. But human cognition is more complicated than a student can care deeply and still be unable to initiate tasks. A student can want success desperately and still shut down completely. A lot of these students that are potentially deemed as lazy, they're students that want to be at school. They want to know what's going on, right? But then the flip is true too, right? Like, a student can appear apathetic, but really, like, inside they're experiencing enormous anxiety or stress, or they're not sleeping. And we can definitely see that when we tailor our lessons to some of our struggling students. I just love tailoring lessons and projects and things for students and like their individual like loves and like the things that they're super passionate about. It's, you can do that for a student who's maybe struggling and think, yeah, okay, so I'm going to do my homework. I'm going to learn about the students. What are they interested in? And then do this project based on their interest, put all this work into it. And then that student is still unable to initiate or start, the assignments. And you're like, oh, I put so much work into this. It's so frustrating. I think this is really where schools fail to distinguish between can't and won't. If you're doing something that should motivate the student, right? The student's passionate about this, they want to learn about this, you're gonna give them a project where they're doing it and they still can't initiate a task. Bing, like, that should tell you something, right? Like, so there's something there. You need to start like being curious and thinking about, how is this student showing up, wondering, what does being cognitively overwhelmed actually look like? Okay, because like, cognitive overwhelm is not always dramatic. Okay, sometimes it looks like procrastination, task avoidance, incomplete work, emotional shutdown, perfectionism, that's a big one, constant fatigue, disorganization, irritability, distraction, or simply staring at a page unable to begin, right? And because schools are so output driven, these behaviors often get interpreted morally instead of neurologically. And that looks like us saying, well, they just need to apply themselves more. They just need more discipline. They're capable of so much more than they're doing. Or they're just choosing not to do the work. If you're already overwhelmed, can you start something?